Hi, it's Brent Abel here, WebTennis.net. Want to give you a quick tip on doubles, and specifically when your team is serving and the returner lobs over the net player. And the question I get frequently is, who handles the lob? Does the net player take it or does the server take it? And one thing I want you to think about here is if the server has to handle the lob over their partner. Now what happens is with the smart returning team is they'll go ahead and that returner will come in behind the return off of that lob, and now that returning team has got the net position first in the point. So my advice is always try to make sure that the net player on that serving team tries to always handle that lob off that return to serve. And what happens is you can practice those first couple of steps going back so that you quickly get back, and worst case you play the overhead as an in-play approach shot overhead, so that both of you being the server and the server's partner get to reclaim that net position first, and that you don't give it up to the returning team. So I want you to practice this. If you're that net player when your partner's serving, and frequently what happens is you're going to get lobbed by the returning team, the thing that you've got to practice is those first two steps going back, trying to cover as much court going back as you possibly can, and then you can kind of fine-tune your setup to the overhead. The overhead most likely is going to be an in-play overhead. It's not going to be a put-away opportunity. Now, the one word of caution I give you, and I get this question a lot, which is, well, do I backpedal? And my answer is always no. You never, ever backpedal where you literally are kind of backing up. You always want to turn your shoulders first, and you always want to take two quick steps back towards your baseline, and then you can kind of sidestep side to side as you fine-tune your setup to that lob. All right, I've got a little video coming up here, court diagram video that I want to give to you that'll hopefully help you decide who's going to take that lob. All right, here it is. Hi, it's Brent Abel here, WebTennis.net. A commonly asked question I get about doubles is, when we serve and the returner plays a lob that goes over the server's partner, who ends up taking that? The way this happens is server, plays their serve, moves in, and here's this lob. This player starts to back up a little bit. And frequently what happens is either the server's partner says yours, or the server herself says mine. What happens is this player switches over, and the server actually has to allow this ball to bounce. It's really tough to kind of move over and take this as a volley. And so what happens is now we've got the server hitting, I should say not hitting, but playing the returner's lob back. And in the meantime, what's happened, the returners come on up to net. So what do we have? We've now got the returning team up to net first in this point. And, here you are back here. The chances are probably pretty good that the server's going to hit another lob back. And always what I see is this player starts to back up. So now we've even got a worse situation. We got both players back here on the baseline, and we've got the returning team up here at net. So, here's what I kind of prefer in this situation is, let's reposition everyone here, is that I would rather see that when the server plays the serve, moves on in, and the returner plays that lob, that the server's partner instantly take two steps back just as quickly as they can. Again, it's not a back pedal. I don't ever want you to literally back up, because the chances of tripping and falling over backwards are huge when you do that. But you turn the shoulders early, you quickly take two steps back towards this baseline, as you measure the depth of this lob. And worst case is, what I'd rather see you do is play this as an approach in play overhead back towards the returner, so that you and your partner can maintain good court position up here and be the first team up to net in this point. And again, it's not always possible. I mean, sometimes this lob is so deep that you guys have to switch, but I'd much rather see this lob come up
you take a couple of steps back, see if you can handle it, and the chances are probably going to be pretty good that you can, in terms of at least an in-play approach shot overhead where you get to come up here and you guys still maintain good court position up here at net. All right, this does take practice. You've really got to work on these first two quick steps, turning your shoulders, really run back 2 steps quickly. If you have to, with this lob up in the air as you're measuring it, you can sidestep, a step or 2 back as you fine tune your setup to this lob where you can play your in-play overhead. All right, hope this has helped.